So, over on the south side, at the corner of Bingham and South 6th Street, there are two old connected buildings that have been converted into an unusual new hotel.
Travelers Rest is a brainchild of Mary Beth and I.
We are an independent, small hotel.
It's essentially an owner-operated independent hotel.
We're also a bit of a bed and breakfast. We'll make the bed, but you make the breakfast. We always joke.
This young couple from Upper St. Clair, Paul Kletter and Mary Beth Karabinos, have spent years creating this cool new place for guests in our city.
We cater to cyclists doing the Gap Trail, the Great Allegheny Passage, and then anyone else who wants to visit. Sports fans, concert goers, convention goers, all kinds of things.
We have people from all over the world that are staying with us. You know, when you have a woman from New Zealand that comes and stays with you and we say, "What are you talking about New Zealand?" and she says the Gap Trail, you know, we're floored. People are traveling from all over. You know, we just had a guest from Japan last week. It's always interesting to get their perspective. Why Pittsburgh? Why did you pick the Gap? You could have gone to all these different places.
If you enter on 6th Street, you can see that this building was originally the office of the A.M. Byers Company that made wrought iron pipe.
They were a company that did both the manufacturing of the wrought iron as well as milling it into pipe.
They developed a method that was called the Byers method of casting that actually revolutionized the industry.
Doing infrastructure, gas, sewer. I always say nothing sexy like railroad and steel, but very important.
They produced more wrought iron than anyone else in the world at that time.
He built this building as the admin building for the flagship mill across the street, Byers Pipe.
So we call this the Great Room. As you can see, it's pretty magnificent.
So up here on the second floor is the guest hall. If your room is not on the first floor, then it will be behind this door.
You see, this was the old executive office for A.M. Byers. If you look up at the ceiling here, you can see how this was partitioned off. Workers would come from across the street, the mill, and this is where they would pick up their paychecks.
Originally, this was the roof of the first building.
So this is the original conference room. It goes by the name of the Byers Suite. We took the name of the founder of the company and applied it to this room. So this is a 2-room suite. Right here, a lot of the original features. Taken like a pocket door right here and repurposed it. Made it into a standard door.
Everything on this floor, unlike much of the first floor, is new. Any wood on the walls or wood floor is obviously the only thing that we didn't put in ourselves.
And right here was an old coat closet and high flush toilet. So what we did is made a nice little Jack and Jill bathroom.
All of our rooms are different layouts. As you saw, there was the full bed, a room with 2 fulls. Here we have the 2 queens.
And right in here, this is our second part of the Byers Suite. This is actually the founder's office.
We divided these up to different guest rooms, added in a bank of 5 bathrooms.
This is the most expensive, the 2-room suite. It's the nicest decor as well, and it's the only room that has a bathroom that is en suite.
All the bathrooms are private but detached. Each room gets its own code to keep it all private.
So here's the bunker. This room is priced on a sliding scale. So if there's 1 guest, it starts off at a certain price, and then you can add a second and pull a cot in here for a third.
And here is a fun room. It's the 4 twins. This is great for Gap travelers. You know, you might get 2 or 3 or 4, for example, middle-aged guys that they're cool with sharing a room. They don't want to share a bed.
All right, so this is our garage. Set up for cyclists. We have a lot of guests that are doing the Gap and C&O trip, so we outfitted this spot for them. Some of our guests will fly their bikes in. We have everything they need to build them up. My
favorite part of the job is coffee talk in the morning, and that seems to be some of the favorite the experiences from the guests as well.
Good morning. Coffee set up if you like coffee.
Mornings here can be delicious and truly social.
We love crafting the perfect day. You know, I'll get a read, I'll be like, okay, I pin you, you guys are gonna wanna go to the History Center, and I think you're cathedral learning people. So it's got enough that we can craft a day depending on what you're looking for sure.
It's definitely a camaraderie. We're closer, I think, here than we were even when we were camping, because you go to your tents, and so this has been great.
This morning, most of these folks are cyclists, all here on a special ride put together by this guy named Greg Stockdale.
I started a bicycle tour company about 6-7 years ago, right about the same time Paul and Mary Beth got their hotel opened. So one day I made a field trip up here, and I walked in the door, and the rest is history.
Well, we checked in by rolling our bikes into the garage.
We went in through the garage on our bikes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to do that anywhere else.
I've never been, this is my first time ever to Pittsburgh, and one of the women on a Facebook page that I started in 2021 decided to put together ask 4 of us if we would like to, her included, ride the Gap.
Our businesses are very complementary, so my guests stay here, their guests are my customers.
4 of us were in room 9, which is 4 single beds, and it was perfect. We were in a dormitory.
I probably spend 2 or 3 days a week here during the high season, and my favorite part of my day is meeting the other cyclists and the other guests from all over the country. They say you should hang around with what you want to be. This is what I want to be.
And this morning, having breakfast, now we've been biking now for a couple days with these folks, so we know them a little bit, but it was that sort of communal get-together that just, it's really what travel's all about.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't know that a cyclist has ever left unhappy.
The 4 ladies, and then I can
We've heard nothing but solid feedback.
the reviews and sitting and talking with people, with guests in the morning, that's what really reminds me, oh yeah, we're doing the right thing. This is a good idea. People like this, as long as we can continue to get the word out.
A big part of it is people have realistic expectations for Pittsburgh. You know, they kind of have a blank slate, and they don't expect a whole lot.
Incredible. First trip to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, fabulous. I mean, it's more, I mean, we have high expectations, and it exceeded them.
And they are very much surprised on what we can deliver on.
The building does a lot of the work for us. It's such an amazing space. We're a place that
It's this environment that we create, and our eagerness to share our home with them.